Hello, hello. It is Monday afternoon, and we are so glad you are joining us for the 10 TV Weather Impact Show. Meteorologist Meredith Garfalo and
meteorologist Aaron White. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Been a beautiful Monday so far.
Oh, how lucky did we get? And for a Monday, too. Normally they're dreary and you're this is a struggle to get out of bed. Not the case, though.
Yeah, especially after, we had a decent weekend. A little showery. There's a couple sprinkles Saturday morning, the cloud cover. But, hey, we got some sunshine yesterday. We got the sunshine today, and things are changing.
They are. So we want to make sure you know all the details because we do have a 10 weather impact alert day that is issued, and that is going to be for us as we go into your evening on Tuesday. So here's the timing for us. Again, it's Tuesday afternoon into the evening. We are looking at a risk for severe thunderstorms and some which could produce some pretty nasty hail. That's become a big story for us. So here is a look at those headlines real quick. We did have that dry and mild start to the week. Our warmest day actually going to be Tuesday. So we're warm today, but we're even warmer by a few more degrees as we go into tomorrow. It's those southwest winds just really doing that warm air advection or transporting the warmer air from the south into our region. But that severe weather risk, which you can see here on your screen, this is what we are concerned about. So this is for tomorrow. We are in a 3 out of 5 on the severity scale. So what does that mean for us? So that just means it'll be a little bit numerous of the severe storms that do form. And all different types of hazards are going to be possible. Some of these storms starting up around the commute home, but a majority of them will be an hour or two before the sun sets. So we are looking at, as I mentioned, damaging winds are pretty big concern, but for this round, we're actually looking at large hail as something we're most concerned about. So what happens is you have these big, robust updrafts. The storms are building, and sometimes you have the little bits of hail that just keep getting pushed up and pushed up. The stronger the winds, the longer they're up there in the clouds. They're freezing and refreezing and refreezing until they're too heavy, or the updraft weakens, and that's when they fall down. And some of this large hail could get upwards of a size of a ping pong to golf ball size, but there have been reports that we could see up to 2-inch diameter, and that's about the size of a lime or a hen egg. That could do some serious damage to your yard, your siding, your roof, and very important, your car or any type of vehicle that's left outdoors. So not every storm will have severe hail, but just in case, if you typically park it outdoors, maybe have somewhere you can go safely when those storms are coming in, or maybe leave it in a parking garage. I always like to say maybe $5 for that parking garage overnight, a lot worth more than $5,000 worth of hail damage. So hopefully those storms don't get too crazy, but that is something we will be watching. All hazards, as I mentioned, going to be possible. So for the rest of the day, again, you can see this morning we had plenty of sunshine in the forecast. We'll have clear skies as we go into the sunset, very similar to last night's sunset, nice and bright for us. And then as we start Tuesday morning, clouds will start to roll in. I would say about a partly sunny sky for us to begin, and then some more clouds come in. But the first round will be some very light showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Here's 10 o'clock, but you can see how quickly they move through, a little bit more here and there for us. This is noon. Let's go ahead to 1 o'clock, and then you can see the last of these start to move out of our region. We have a brief lull, and you can see even some clearing. We don't like the sunshine. That actually will fuel severe storms and really get them going. And so by about 6 o'clock, the current timing, you can see the line starting to form, coming in from the northwest and then moving to the west-south or east-southeast, and again, continuing to push through. Here's 7:30, starting to come into parts of the metro. 8 o'clock, you can see Newark starting to get some of the storms, Delaware, all the way up toward Mansfield. Again, here's 8:30, could still see some of these storms lingering around. And I do want to point out this timing could still change in the next 24 hours, but we're giving you where we're looking at right now. The thing is, just be prepared for the evening. And then these storms continue to push off to the east, Zanesville, Cambridge, Caldwell, the I-77 corridor by 9:30. 10 o'clock starting to move out. It does look like overnight, though, everything clears up, and we'll actually get some sun for Wednesday, but the cooler air moves in. And then by later in the day on Wednesday, about the commute home, we could see another round of some scattered showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder. We'll have to keep a close eye on the atmosphere. But as we look here at the forecast for Thursday, unfortunately, Yes, it will be warm, but it also looks to be wet. And again, we're several days out. This could still change, but this would bring some rain, maybe some thunderstorms throughout the day on Thursday, and even on the backside, seeing some rain move through for Friday morning and spread out. So we'll continue to bring you the latest on that. But for the rest of the day today, as I mentioned, upper 70s to low 80s across the region. Plenty of sunshine. Tonight we'll have mostly clear skies, becoming more partly cloudy as we get the day going on Tuesday. Tuesday temperatures topping out in the low 80s, but as I mentioned, we do have that 10 weather impact alert day starting up later in the afternoon and continuing until the evening. So you can see how quickly we get into the 80-degree mark right after the lunch hour. So if you have anything to do, I would definitely get it done earlier versus later. And you can see though with the extended planner, again, there's that alert day for us as we move forward in time though. Very unsettled weather through the end of the week. But right now it's looking dry Saturday and Sunday. I saw some models might be hinting at some weekend rain, so we'll keep a close eye on that. But you know, the thing is just this line, the severe weather. I mean, it's definitely something that's a little bit of a concern. And we actually have already seen some weather that was off to the west that was producing some nasty cells in the Central Plains. Yeah,
we saw quite a bit of severe weather here over the weekend. There were some tornadoes even in Nebraska. So a pretty large tornado, watching that on the radar picture and seeing people post about it on social media. And even some more storms that happened even the last few days back on Friday from Oklahoma. You can see just a very ominous sky there as some of the storms were rolling into the region, and it's quite possible that we're going to see skies like this again, not only today, especially across parts of the upper Midwest, but even tomorrow, Meredith. As you mentioned, we have that risk of severe weather here across the state of Ohio, so wouldn't be surprised if we do see some stuff like that happening for the next couple of days as we get some really active weather. So let's talk about the active weather that we have going on here today. Across parts of the upper Midwest, we have a pretty substantial risk of severe weather. This is quite rare to see it this far north, that there is a level 4, a moderate risk across northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, including the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and into western Wisconsin, as they are anticipating several thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes in this area, highlighted in red, even in the orange area, extending all the way down to Kansas City. Rather, a regional severe weather outbreak could unfold later on today. Now, one of the concerns is going to be, of course, a potential for tornadoes and even some stronger tornadoes that will develop here into Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. But what's going to be a factor here later on today is what's happening right now. There are showers and storms already in this area. Not severe, just a general showers and storms producing some brief heavy downpours, maybe some gusty winds moving into the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, stretching down into Iowa. Will this affect what happens later on today? That's going to be a question. And then what happens later on today with those storms developing around Interstate 35 south of Minneapolis? Those storms are going to track to the east and eventually will kind of fall apart, may give us some showers in the morning, but then we'll get some more showers and storms developing here across Ohio, stretching back to the west and all the way to the northeast and parts of New York State. But that will affect areas around Columbus with that risk of strong to severe thunderstorms as we get later into the afternoon and for tomorrow evening. So it's going to be a lot to watch the next couple of days, what unfolds today, again, across Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin.
Right.
And, of course, watching things locally here in Ohio.
Just a wild weather, and here we go again, but it is spring, and so this is something, also a time of year that farmers are going to be getting out and whatnot, so they'll be watching our forecast closely. Exactly. Well, did you know the U.S. Department of Agriculture says female ranchers and farmers now make up more than 36% of all producers?
Oh, wow.
And that actually results in more than $200 billion added to the American economy.
That's a lot of money. And a push for gender equality in the farming industry. One of those women is 24 years old in North Dakota, and her name is Hannah Jacob.
And now Hannah actually helps run her father's farm and ranch. She eventually wants to take over the farm, which her dad says is a good feeling, adding that getting more women involved is important for the industry as a whole.
More maternal instincts of keeping it alive. Us women are kind of like nurturing it back. You stick there with it. You bring it back. You do everything possible.
And it's the freedom, the outdoor work instead of, being inside every day.
Hey, and with the weather we've been having lately, why not be outside, right?
Exactly, yeah.
The USDA says women operate roughly, get this, 407 million acres of farms, and Hannah works 900 of those acres.
That is awesome. 24 years old and working hard there. 900 acres there in North Dakota. And North Dakota, of course, gets some wild weather. Of course, you get the extremes in the winter and even extremes in the spring and summer. So good to see her doing some great work there.
We always love to share some of those science and STEM related stories with you. But of course, the team will have the latest on the updates as they come in. You can always catch us anytime on 10 TV Plus. But that's actually it for your weather update.
Actually, we got one more thing. We're going to talk about.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry, this is the surprise. Aaron said he had a fun event for us.
Little
that's right.
extra thing that's actually been happening the last few days, but it's going to be happening here the next couple of nights, especially now that we're getting this weather pattern changing. We're getting some more southerly flow. So let's go ahead and talk about the bird migration that's been happening here the last couple of days. So what I want you to look at, this is the radar picture from the last 6 hours, and you're going to kind of notice this flare up of green. Yeah, it's kind of wild to see.
That is so cool.
Those are birds.
No way.
Yeah,
actually,
those are
I know,
birds.
but yeah.
I'm sure there's probably some bugs in there too, but
Ew.
the radar's picking up birds and other things. But the bird migration, a lot of birds are flocking north, of course, now that we're getting into the warmer season, later into the spring, and of course into the summertime. So there's been migration happening the last several days, and what a lot of the birds do, some of the larger migration patterns, they take advantage of what's happening in the weather with the overall wind direction. And now that we're seeing more of the winds out of the south and southwest, birds are going to just kind of flow along that pattern instead of flying into the wind. So we are seeing several different types of birds migrating right now over the state of Ohio here into tonight. Sparrows, terns, wrens, and even hummingbirds are projected to fly over Ohio. Again, you saw it on the radar picture. Some have migrated last night, and we likely will see that again here for tonight. So pretty cool.
I need to dust off my binoculars then.
Yeah, go see what birds you can find.
Well, thank you so much for those fun facts. We love to share things with you. And that's it for today for your weather update here on 10 TV Plus. And of course, coming up later tonight, Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz will be in. He'll have everything we need to know on the latest timing as the model updates continue to help get a little bit more in sync. Well, until then, you can catch more news and weather online anytime at 10tv.com. So have a great afternoon. Enjoy the sun.